There's not much I can say that you didn't already cover. Yes.
Jim, give us one of your best stories. We have all afternoon, so you don't have to slow it down.
One of my best stories. One of my best stories is my family. I have 11 children, 6 sons and 5 daughters, and they are the greatest people I've ever known and associated with. And I have 25 grandchildren and 24 great-grandchildren, one coming. And this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. But I want to tell you, if you're a father and you have a daughter who never sat on your lap, gave you a kiss on the cheek, and said, "I love you, Daddy," you've missed the greatest experience you could ever have in your life. And I would, at this time, like to recite a poem. I stood on the deck of a ship in February 1945, and a sailor who was standing nearby said they just raised the flag on Mount Suribachi. And he was watching through binoculars. We couldn't see it with our naked eye. But he passed the binoculars around, and we all got to see that the greatest flag ever flown on a mountaintop of Mount Suribachi in Iwo Jima. And we all were astounded and hopeful that this battle might be over soon. Years later, I was watching Johnny Carson, and I saw Jim Stewart, the movie actor, recite a poem about the ragged old flag. And I said, I have to learn that poem, which I did. And it's called The Ragged Old Flag, and it goes, I will quote, "As I was walking through a county courthouse square, on a park bench an old man was seated there. And I said, 'Hey, your old courthouse, it's kind of run down.' He said, 'No, it'll do for our little town.' I said, 'Okay, but the flagpole you got is leaning quite a bit. And that sure is a ragged old flag you got hanging on it.' He said, 'Have a seat, son.' So I sat down. He said, 'Is this the first time you've been to our little town?' I said, 'I believe it is.' He said, 'Son, I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a hole in that flag there the night Washington took her across the Delaware. Then she got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key sat writing the words, 'Oh, say, can you see?' Then she got a bad rip in New Orleans with Packingham and Jackson tugging at her seams. And she nearly fell at the Alamo, along with the great Texas flag, but she waved on through. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again in Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. Flanders Field in World War II, she got a hole from a Big Bertha. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea and Vietnam, 'cause she went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships on a briny foam, but they don't waver that much anymore here back home. In her own good land where she's been abused, she's been burnt, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is now scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare, wearing thin. But she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before. And I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning and bring her down slow every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up just right. You know, son, on second thought, I do like to brag, 'cause I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag. May God bless that flag and all that she stands for. Amen and amen.
Fantastic job, Jim. You raised the bar even higher now.
And yeah. Thank you, Jim. That was patriotic, beautiful, and like we just said, the bar is now that much higher. And again, thank you. And there's another gentleman up here that would like to throw some praise your way. Dave Walsh with the VFW of Hanson.
Thanks, Chris. Morning, Jim. So great to see you back here, buddy. I got so many calls, and everyone, a lot of folks that never even attended meetings, were calling me every day concerned about you. First of all, I want to just say what a privilege and honor it is to have made you and Ashley be able to call you friend over the years.
Thank you, Dave.
And I want to say one thing to everyone, and this involves Chris and everyone else. I think veterans are certainly our nation's most valuable resource. And we got veterans in the posts all around the country, veterans in our post, your post, well, your post to be wherever it may be in the future. Most of these veterans have actually been engaged in combat, men and women at some point in time. And yet, in our post, he is our patriarch. And everyone looks at him, and there's thousands of veterans all across eastern Massachusetts who would consider you their patriarch, what you have done. It's really quite amazing. When you were in Iwo Jima, just going back and thinking for a moment, and you saw that flag raised up there, we talked about this before, that we thought maybe that was the end of hostilities in Iwo Jima, and maybe you had the island captured, and you didn't realize there was weeks and weeks and weeks of hard combat to follow. And once that was over, and I'm going to throw one little story about Jim that he hasn't related to you, but for the grace of God, being a good Christian man that he is with us today. Because if the war had proceeded much further past the fighting of Iwo Jima, his division, the 3rd Marine Division, which he is part of, was slated to be the spearhead for invading mainland Japan. And as everyone knows, when you're spearheading and you're the advanced party landing on such an adventure like that, the casualties can be tremendously expected. And by the grace of God, you probably are with us today because you probably would have been one of them. But thank goodness Harry Truman saw in his infinite wisdom at that point. There was 2 drops on Hiroshima and Nagasaki that probably saved your life and many of your comrades. Thousands of lives were lost, agreed, but thousands upon thousands of lives were saved. And you've been such an inspiration to us, Jim. And I don't want to talk anymore because I want to keep this very short. But one little thing here came from our national chaplain, Father Joseph Gillick, from National VFW headquarters. It's a little card honoring you, and a cup and a little challenge coin. And his particular Cross.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Jim. You take care, buddy. We can't wait to see you back at one of our meetings or our memorial services reciting the Grand Old Flag, which he has done for us several times. It's amazing. You should be a professor of history, a professor at the War College. You should be. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, and thanks for everybody coming today. And again, Jim, thank you for everything that you've done for this country, everything you've done for this community, and everything you continue to do for us on a day-to-day basis. And we will definitely see you around. Thanks for coming out. Everybody have a great day.
What are we doing here?
Just talking.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. You can go ahead and take your mask off. I'll keep mine on. Sound good?
Okay.
We can, so, you know, 'cause you're the
Sure
star.
thing.
They're gonna, so, they can see it. So, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to getting back to now that you've beaten cancer and COVID?
Well, my singing, the best thing I've ever done was sing, and I love singing, and I will be going to karaoke as often and as much as I can. I love karaoke. I've met some great people there, and we have a good time singing. There's nothing like music to lift the soul, as they say, and I just love music anyway, and I have a song in my heart at all times. My voice has been affected from COVID, but I hope to get it back again. As you can probably tell when I was talking before doing the poem, did a little raspy showed up, but the voice will be back, and I'll be back at karaoke as much as I can. They're amazed that a guy over 90 can sing as well as I can.
What's your favorite song?
Well, mostly Sinatra stuff and Dean Martin stuff, but when there's young people, I like to do Bon Jovi. Just to make them happy, and they love it, but it's usually the last thing I'll do at night because I'm exhausted when I'm done. But what's that one about the cowboy and a motorcycle?